Sometimes the best stories in golf aren't found on tour. You'll find them at the back of the range. And here's your host, Ben Adelberg.
Thank you again for joining me here at the Back of the Range Golf Podcast. I am your host, Ben Adelberg. This is episode 53. This is a special episode here at the Back of the Range. If you remember correctly, I told you we'd take the week off. We'd return on January 3rd, our first anniversary for Season 2. Well, we're still going to do all that, but you know, the cool thing about calling the shots here at the Back of the Range is that I can post an episode whenever I feel like it. And this is an important one, and it's time sensitive, so we're going to get into the episode right away. But before we do, just a couple reminders. If you enjoyed Season 1 and are getting ready for Season 2 just like I am, go subscribe in Apple Podcasts. That'll guarantee that you're notified when our newest episodes drop. And keep leaving reviews in Apple Podcast and keep tweeting, sharing, and reposting our content. Let's get these great stories from the game of golf out to as many people as possible. This week's guest on this special episode of The Back of the Range is Steve LeBrun from West Palm Beach, Florida. Now, if you aren't too familiar with the mini tour circuit here in South Florida, you might not know who Steve is. He's a 40-year-old journeyman pro that has had limited success on the web.com and the PGA Tour. He spent one season in the sun in 2013, and his best finish was a T15 at the John Deere Classic. He's battled through shoulder surgeries, back injuries, the loss of sponsorships, you name it. Steve has seen it and been through it all during his long road back to the PGA Tour. The reason we are releasing this episode this week is because Steve is getting ready to head back out onto the web.com tour. With his back against the wall, after 3 average rounds in the web finals this year, Steve qualified on the number with a final round 62. Steve told the entire story of that round and what it means for him, his family, and his prospects as a professional chasing his way back to the tour. Steve will be playing in the first 8 tournaments on the web schedule, so I wanted to make sure everyone is tracking his progress early in the season. Needless to say, we will be sending tons of serious back-of-the-range mojo his way. So for those of you that think that the life of a professional golfer is glamorous at all times, full of private jets, courtesy cars, and endless endorsement deals, well, during this episode, Steve draws back the curtain and reveals what life is really like for golf pros chasing the dream. So Steve, welcome to the Back of the Range. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've had a whirlwind here the last couple weeks.
So, well, we're going to get into a lot of that. So let's level set for the listeners. So we're recording this episode in December in South Florida, where everyone hates us because we have the great weather and we just get to go play golf all the time. So you're here at Bear Lakes Country Club. It's in West Palm Beach. They had their pro scratch event. Obviously, you are the pro in this event. This is kind of a silly season, kind of a fun thing just to do on an off week. So who'd you play with? Give me a little bit of information about just your week here at Bear Lakes, and then we're going to get into a bunch of stuff. But tell me about your current week.
So I played with one of my old sponsors. His name's Keith Eason. We always have fun. We don't necessarily have a chance. He's about a 6 handicap. If he plays good, he may make 1 or 2 birdies around. So if he does that, we may have a chance if I make 5 or 6, and we don't bogey the same hole, which we tend to do a lot of the time.
Okay.
So our scores sometimes are not as low as maybe they should be, but yeah, this is always a great, like you said, fun event, kind of almost to the off season, and it's always something good to come and play in with the opportunity to, you never know, you may hit the right shot at the right time.
Well, you did hit the right shot at the right time. So we're here. We are here also with Scott Turner. He's the owner-operator of the Minor League Golf Tour. He was episode 51. So if you're listening and you want to go catch that episode, it is at thebackoftherange.com. That's episode 51. And so this is a pro scratch event. Yesterday was it's best ball for both rounds, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both days.
So yesterday you said hitting the right shot at the right time. Just to kind of level set and give listeners an idea of what you're capable of, I believe you had a 2 on one hole yesterday. Which hole was that?
Well, it wasn't a par 3 and it wasn't a par 4. It was actually a par 5.
Okay, so doing the math, that's almost like a double eagle.
Yeah, almost.
Okay,
yeah.
So what did you hit? What happened? Paint the picture on that one.
All right, well, we weren't really doing much. We were only 2 under, and we were on our second to last hole. And I had kind of been waiting for that hole because it was kind of one of the only par fives that was for me, that was sort of gettable.
Sure.
You could reach it in two if you hit a good tee shot. And I hit a great tee shot down the right side. Got down there, it was 223 yards.
Okay.
Little helping wind. Pin was up front. And these greens out here on the links course are so undulating. There's mounds everywhere. And you could hit a good shot that catches a mound and goes, 30 feet away, or you could hit a really bad shot and it comes to a foot from the hole.
Right.
Well, I step up with a 4-iron, just hit it perfectly, right at the hole. I mean, it was turning in a little bit, but it was never left the stick, really. And it disappeared. Then it showed itself again, and then it disappeared again. And we were all like, what? Did it come up short?
Right.
Did it catch one of those mounds that I was talking about? Did it go long? Where is it? Oh, whatever. I hit a good shot.
Sure.
We weren't doing much. We were only a couple under. So we start driving up, and there's two guys that are short of the green. Two balls that are short. We don't know whose they are.
Right.
And then the guy I'm playing with, he had a wedge shot from like 90 yards, and he hit it up there. So we start walking up, and we see the ball in the green from my partner, and the two balls that are short. So I'm like, it's got to be one of mine. It's got to be. It must have hit short.
Right.
Came back. That's
Peeled
why it
back.
disappeared. Okay.
Yeah.
So they start walking up. They grab a wedge and a putter. The two other guys that we're playing with in the other group, and they're walking up, and they look down at their ball, and oh, this one's mine. Mm-hmm. The other guy goes, oh, this one's mine. I'm like, where could this golf ball be? And in the back of my head, I'm like, it was right at the hole. Could it have gone in? Maybe, but. Right. So we walk up, and the front edge of the hole was just torn out. Destroyed. I mean, it was destroyed. There was you could see it when we were about just to the front of the green. And we started getting closer and closer, and the guy's like, man, I think it's in. And we got right up to it, and sure enough, the ball's sitting in there, cup's blown out, dirt down in the bottom of the cup. I'm like, it's crazy. So we all went nuts. It was even the guys the other two guys that weren't even on my team.
First double eagle, I'm assuming?
No, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
this guy.
No,
this guy.
I know.
This guy here.
Well, it's funny. Minor league tour. We were playing a 3-day event at Abacoa. I think it was in the second round. And the 17th hole there, it's a driver and a hybrid if it's downwind, and it was downwind.
Okay.
And I hit it perfect, and I ended up shooting. I think I shot like 63 that day.
Yeah, well, who doesn't? Anyway.
Well, usually you do that stuff when you're not playing that good, like I did yesterday. It doesn't always happen when you're playing really good.
Okay, so if you're listening, this guy can play. We've established that. Just check that off the podcast 101 list. As you said, you've had a crazy few weeks. So you've had status on the PGA Tour. You've had status on the web. You're 40 years old. You have been around for years. You've played a lot of the minor league tour as a buffer to when you're going to go to Q school. So it's in between of it's your professional career. It's what you're trying to do to accomplish. We're going to talk a little bit about the past, but I really want to hit on what you've done in the last several weeks. As anyone that follows golf knows, web.com Tour Q School Finals were just in Arizona. If anyone followed that, you see the absolutely insane scores that were shot out there. I think the winning score was about 25 or 26 under.
Yeah,
and that's
26.
And that's 4 rounds of golf. Yeah. So you get through first stage, second stage, you're at finals. You shoot 68, 69, 71. That's where you're standing after 3 rounds. You're well outside the cut. You have to get 45 guys advance.
40 now.
40, I'm sorry.
They lowered it.
Okay, so 40 guys, yeah, because, why make it easier? So 40 guys will advance, and there's different tiers. The medalists will get full access to the tour. Then you go down a list, and they'll get access to such and such many events. The bottom tier is guaranteed at the first 8 events for the web. You're at 68, 69, 71. You're back. Can you walk me through from that point to when you tee it up for your final round?
Yes. It was funny. On the third round, I just could not get anything going. And I actually made about an 8-footer for bogey on the last hole.
To shoot 71.
And I said to my caddy, I said, that was a big putt. I needed that one to stay under par for the day. And I knew, we knew what the number was after the first 2 days. Everybody had played each course once.
Right.
The number was at 9. Anybody that follows tour golf knows usually you can double whatever that number is, and that's probably pretty close to what it's going to be at the end of the week.
So what you're saying is that you looked at the entire field and the cut number was on 9.
Yeah.
So you're thinking to yourself, if I'm going to make the cut, I need to shoot 18 under for 4 rounds.
Yes.
And at that point, you were at 8 under.
8 under.
Okay.
Yeah. So I said that was a big putt.
Right.
And, you go through, the life of a professional golfer is difficult anyways, but I'm out there by myself. My caddy does his own thing. I do my thing. So we had, a lot of hours from when I finished that last hole till the next morning when it was time to tee off again. And you have to figure out what the heck to do to not think about it too much, but think about it enough.
Right.
So you can kind of know what you need to do. I thought 9 under for that last day would be good enough.
Right.
It ended up being 10. But what happens is most times when you say, oh, I got to shoot 9, 10 under on the last day, you don't even sniff it.
Right.
So I've done a lot of work in my mental game and everything over the last 3-4 years to be ready for that position. Yes, I knew that was the number that probably needed to be shot, but I've gotten better at putting it out of the picture, just in the back and not think about it. I went and practiced a little bit. After the third round, I went and hit some balls, not many, putted a little bit, chipped because I didn't chip that good that third round. And then I said, okay, that's it. So my caddy walked to the car, put him in. All right, now what do I do now for the rest of the night when I know I was so far out of it that it wasn't as bad as if you would have been on the number.
Right.
Like if I would have been 14 and knew I only had, all I got to do is shoot, 4 or 5 under.
Right.
Sometimes that's worse.
Sure, because you're thinking, how could I not shoot 3 under? It's
Everybody's,
right there.
Everybody's shooting 6, 7 under every day. How can you not shoot 3 or 4 under? So there was some of that involved.
Right.
And so I just kind of did my thing. I did my normal thing. Went back, showered, iced my shoulder, iced my back. I did all the stuff I normally would do. Went and had some dinner, talked to the family. Actually had a great sleep. Got up at 6 the next day, and okay, here it is. And I was probably the most calm I had been all week because like I said, I was so far out of it.
Right.
I knew what I needed to do, but come on.
Who shoots 62 for their livelihood on the one day that you absolutely have to go shoot 62?
Exactly. And I've been doing this long enough where, maybe I've done it every once in a while, but I've never had to shoot that kind of score. I had to shoot 67 that last day, and that was amazing, but 62...
Do you ever, from when you signed for your card for the 71 to when you teed up 62, did it ever enter your mind what you were going to be doing next year if you didn't make that? Did you ever go down that rabbit hole of
many times?
Okay.
But this is one of the things with my my mental work that I'm working with a new therapist.
Who are you working with?
His name's John Denny.
Okay.
Guy has turned my whole mental game around.
Okay.
He's worked with Lexi Thompson. He's worked with a number of people.
Sure.
Okay. There's a new thing once you start thinking of the bad thing, which is, what if I don't shoot 62? Oh my God, what am I going to do?
Right.
I quickly get it out. I quickly get it out with good thoughts of happiness, or I'm a spiritual man. For me, it's God is with me. God is with me. Whatever it needs to be for some people, for me, that's what it is. And then it goes away, fades away until the next time it comes back. And you say, oh my God, if I don't shoot 62 tomorrow, what am I going to like? I'm in trouble because this, to be honest, this was pretty close to maybe being the last try. I got a lot of debt, a lot of things going on.
Sure.
It was pretty close to maybe being the last ditch effort here.
Okay.
So it was hard to keep throwing that stuff back into the back burner every time it would come through my head. But with this new way of thinking, it worked. It worked.
And when you're out there, so you birdied your final 5 holes, birdied 6 out of your last 8. So that's 6 under. You shot 10. You really didn't have a whole lot going on the front. So I guess, again, this isn't like you came out of the chute super hot where you say, hey, I got it. Every hole that you're making a par.
It's just getting further and further
par,
away.
Right, every par. When did it click where, okay, I have something here? And then you also have no reason to protect what you have going, right?
Right. Well, it was...
right. I mean, you shoot 67, doesn't really mean much.
No. 67 doesn't mean much. Nowadays, if I'd have shot 63, that doesn't mean much either. Even missing by a shot nowadays, it doesn't necessarily...
Right.
You might not see a start on the web, which is... I can't even believe it. But that's sort of the new way they have it set up. There's so many guys that are members of the tour. They just don't have enough spots to go around.
Right.
So I would say I made on 11, I made a putt that I putted in the practice round. I got there 3 days early or 4 days early, and I hit there was a lot of weird putts. It's not like playing here. I enjoy playing here because I can see the Bermuda the grass.
Yeah, you're a native South Florida guy, and this thing for your livelihood's in Arizona with mountains, and it breaks towards here, and then this,
and you're looking at a hill that's at the back of the green, but somehow the putt goes towards that hill.
Right.
So, and this was that putt. It was about 25 feet. I hit a good drive on that hole, and I had about a 9-iron, and I didn't hit a good 9-iron. It was 25, 30 feet left of the hole. But I knew the putt. I got there. I opened my book. I looked at it. I'm like, oh, that's right. This is that one that there's no way it can go left, but it goes about a ball left. And I stood up to it, probably the most confident of any putt all week. And I poured it right in. And that was, if I was starting to get anxious, that just took it right down. It was like, okay. How awesome is that? What I just did on a hole and a pin placement that I knew they would use. There was no way I would have made the putt if that would have been my first time hitting it.
And that's your birdie on 11, and then you go drive for 2 more holes.
2 more holes. I make an amazing up and down out of the bunker on the par 3.
Okay.
I mean, just hit not that good of a shot. Like again, like you said, there wasn't this like, I'm on fire today. I can't miss a shot. That was not the case at all.
You basically backdoored to 62.
You're exactly right. I made a bogey early. I made a bogey on the 4th hole of the day after two birdies. And then this, a lot of times it's a bogey for me. Sure. I hit a bad tee shot after I make the birdie that I need to make to get to 6 and now, or get to 5. And okay, I'm kind of close. Now I'm getting closer. This is... And then I hit this shot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. And I hit a great bunker shot and make a little downhill 5-footer for par. And I was like, okay, that was big. Right. But I'm running out of time.
Sure.
The next hole is a really short par 4. I bomb a drive. I have 45 yards left. I don't get that up and down. Now I'm like, well, I needed that one. That's the one.
Right.
But my dad said this to me at first stage this year. He caddied for me. My brother and him kind of went off and on caddying for me at first stage this year because I had a back issue right before. So they were like, we want to come out and help you. You don't need to be pushing your push cart with you. Right. Or whatever. Okay. But he said, I've never seen you so calm when you're not playing that good. And there was something in me at first stage. I mean, I was so far out of it at first stage, it wasn't even, there was no chance. And he goes, you never looked anxious or worried that something wasn't going to start happening. And I felt exactly that way when those 5 holes started. It's just the way things are going for me right now, and I'm going to ride it for as long as I can. You absolutely have to.
So before we get into what you getting through, you made it on the number. You shoot 62. Yeah. You've shot low scores like this your entire career. Are you relieved at that point? Are you excited? Are you celebrating? Because literally, you didn't win anything. I mean, you won a card. You won the ability to go chase it on the web for guaranteed first date events. Yeah. But I know that your first date events that you're playing in, it's not right around the corner. You're going, you're going to, let's see, Bahamas, Panama, Colombia, Mexico, Louisiana, Savannah, Mississippi. Yeah. So you get it on your card. Are you excited? What's your emotion there?
Well, I was super excited after that happened. The thoughts of those things didn't start until literally I got home and people started texting me, have you booked yet for Bahamas? Have you booked your flight yet?
Right.
I'm like, it's a day. I just got home. I take the red eye home to get back so I can play a pro-am at Medalist the next morning. So, and the guys are saying, well, you got to book it now. And I'm like,
right.
What? I just got it.
I'm wearing yesterday's clothes.
Yeah.
Dude.
I didn't sleep. I haven't slept yet. So, then it starts, oh, okay. Now we're sort of back to reality here. Okay. I got to book this stuff. I know it's going to be a fortune.
Right.
I don't have really anything right now as far as funds.
Right.
And so Scott and I have talked about this before, but that's the life of a professional golfer in what I not every professional golfer, but someone who is in my position. That's what we deal with. There's these ups, but then there's sometimes if you haven't ever really won on the big tour or anything, you have these down times where it's, oh, that was so amazing, but oh man, okay, I got to figure
amazing,
out
but it gives you now. It's like this amazing thing that happened to you, but it also presents you with a handful of problems,
another burden.
Right?
Yeah.
So people, and it's been really fascinating this year. I mean, I am just closing out the first year of this podcast, and I've spoken with, professionals, amateurs that played professionally, and just the aspect of not understanding what goes into playing professionally and doing this for a living. So just to kind of step back, have a little fun, and tell a couple fun stories. You've been playing professionally for about 20 years now. Off the top of your head, can you think of the worst lodging situation you've ever had while traveling and playing professionally?
Did you hear about this somehow or something for that question to come up? Because
Steve,
it wasn't that long ago.
Steve, I'm a professional golf podcaster with at least 1 year experience, and I bought these microphones at Radio Shack before they went out of business. I know what the hell I'm doing, Steve. So you and your 62 and jarring 4 irons, that may be good with what you're doing, but over here on this side of the table, all right, I got my shit together. Well, so let's hear about your worst lodging experience.
I think I'm going to surprise you because maybe if you have heard something, I don't think you heard this.
I have not heard this story, but something told me I should ask this question.
2 years ago, I was 2016, I was conditional on web.
Okay.
I had finished 88th on the money list the year before, so that gave me partial, status. So I was getting into everything. If I got into something, it was last minute.
Okay.
I got into the Bahamas event. Last minute, like literally 3 days before the event, fly down there, didn't play good. Then about 2 months later, they had the event in the Dominican, which is now a PGA Tour event on the same golf course.
Yep.
And I had been there the year before, so I knew, but I got in literally same thing. I was playing a minor league event down at Emerald Hills, and I'm on the golf course, and I get a call. I was probably on the 9th hole. Oh, you're second alternate. Oh, okay. All right, great. I finished the round. I have another voice. Your first alternate. Oh, geez. Okay, so now I got to figure out how the heck am I going to get down there?
Fort Lauderdale,
this is Monday.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida on Monday, trying to get down to play the following weekend in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. No, of course, nothing booked because
you're not going.
There's no way I'm going. First off, I'm not going to get in.
Right.
Not this many guys. I was 20th alternate like 3 days before.
Right.
So no, you're not going to start booking stuff. Well, I get in the car after I listened to the voicemail. I think we had a playoff. I had a playoff with Jimmy Lytle. And I won the playoff, but then I get in the car, start driving. Here comes the call. You're in. Okay, great. Oh, this is great. You know, I want to. I need to play. I'll make it work. I'll get down there. So yes, please count me in to play. And then there's that. You know, there's that excitement for literally. It was like a minute, and then it was. Oh gosh, how am I going to pay for this? All right, I got to call my wife. You know, I guess we had just sort of. Well, had we just had our third? Yeah, we may have just had our third kid, and she's dealing with her, and all this stuff, whatever. No, she was pregnant with her. Now that I'm thinking of the time, so she was pregnant with our third child, and so I get on the phone with her. Okay, I got to figure out how to get there. So I call PGA Tour Travel. They get me a flight, and they're like, "There's no rooms left at the host hotel. There's no rooms left at the other host hotel. There's nothing. There's you can stay for one night. I think it was I could stay Wednesday night at the host hotel." But then there was no rooms for Thursday, Friday. Then there was one room for Saturday. And those were $350 a night, by the way.
Okay.
So I said, well, I guess let me get those first. And so secure those for me. And then when I get down there, when I get to the Dominican Republic, I will figure out where I'm going to stay.
I mean, this sounds like a great idea.
I mean, there's no. I don't know. There's nothing.
Who hasn't said?
Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong.
No.
Who hasn't said? As soon as I find myself in a foreign country, I'll find a place to stay.
Unbelievable. So
okay.
The one person at Tour Travel said, "Listen, you go to the front desk at the host hotel. I know they have these apartments off site that they're also using.
Right.
And maybe one of those you can get in. So keep the room for Wednesday and Saturday. But if one of these is available, you do it." So I fly Tuesday morning to Dominican.
Sure.
Well, that was maybe afternoon. I get in. I go to the hotel. No, we don't have any rooms here. You know, you have a room I know for Wednesday. We do have a place. I mean, this took forever. I'm saying how fast it went. Yeah, well, I was standing there for an hour while they tried to find something for me.
Right.
And they're like, okay, we have an apartment that you can have for the whole week. And I'm like, oh, great. So cancel me for Wednesday. Cancel me for Saturday. I'll stay there. Okay, we're going to shuttle. We can shuttle you over there. This whole thing. Okay, how does the courtesy cars, do they pick you, or there's
shuttle service.
There's shuttle service that takes you from the host hotel to the golf course.
Right.
Will they come and pick me up? How will I get from that apartment to the hotel that does pick? Well, I don't know. I don't know how you're going to, you'll have to figure that out. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I've done this for a long time. I was freaked out.
There's always a way. There's always a way.
Yeah, I was freaked out, but I got it. I'll figure it out. Okay. Well, so they get me there, and now
Please tell me that there's a donkey involved where you're riding him. Is there a burro?
There are animals.
Okay.
There are animals.
I can't wait to hear this. Go ahead.
So I get to this place. Now, the guy says, if you want to go to the golf course, I can take you right now. I said, okay, I just want to go putt for a little bit. It's Tuesday. Tournament starts Thursday. Whatever.
Sure.
So I go, I get back. I go to sleep. I wake up in the next morning. It's Wednesday. I'm going to go play a practice round. I get a call while I'm playing the practice round. The owners of the apartment that you were staying in have decided to come home, and you need to get out of that apartment within the next couple hours. But we have something else for you.
Don't you worry. We got you figured out.
We got you another spot.
By the way, were you basically illegally squatting at this apartment? And they just didn't tell you?
Well, squatters don't pay anything. I paid 250 nights.
Oh, God.
$250 for the first night at this place. So I don't know. It's a different type of squatter. It's a bad squatter who has to pay.
All right, so you get out of there.
I go back. So I get back to this place. I gather up all my stuff. Somebody comes, takes me to this other place. I have to return the key. Now I'm even further away. I say, you got to take me to the airport. I got to get a rental car. So this is Wednesday. This is literally like the event's about to start. And so I'm in this new place, whatever. And they take me to the airport. I get a rental car back. Now it's, 9 o'clock at night. I get into bed, and there is the biggest frog I have ever seen in my life in the bathroom which is right next to the bed. Like there's a little doorway with no door into the bathroom.
No.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't like frogs. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't like frogs. I don't really like snakes.
Breaking news
I don't really
here
like
at the Back of
lizards.
the Range Golf Podcast.
Amphibians are not my friends.
Gotcha.
Okay? I know they're not going to, attack me. Well, I don't know that, actually. That's why I'm scared of them. Okay. Anyways, this guy is big, and he's right there. I'm like, I can't. How am I going to sleep tonight? I fell asleep on the couch in the living room at 3 a.m. I had, I think, at 8 o'clock tee time. Get up, go through my warm-up routine, do all that, get to the golf course, come back. They have, whoever the housekeeping was or whatever, has opened windows. There is bugs now everywhere in the room. I go nuts. I didn't play that good the first day. I'm there now, and I'm like, I'm getting out of here. What am I going to do?
What are you going to do?
I call the hotel. Somebody is left. You can now come over here.
Sure.
For $350
of course.
A night.
Of course.
But you can come here. So I say, I got to get out of here. I can't do this. So now I get there. I keep the rental car at the hotel. And it was just a nightmare. One thing after another. Like, I get this great opportunity, and then it was one bad thing after another. And
never should have gone, right?
I mean, I think that week they wouldn't give me a discount on anything or anything. I went to the office people. I said, this is ridiculous. You put me in a place that you say I can have for the week, and then you say the owner's coming back. Then you put me in a place with wildlife all over.
That comes.
I guess it comes with the territory. I don't know. But
so this is a great story, but it also illuminates the other fact that if people are watching professionals on the PGA Tour, web, whatever, and they think they got the clothing deals, they got the travel deals, and they're on corporate jets and stuff like that. You have 8 tournaments coming up. Can you maybe explain or anticipate or even project what the cost of something like that is before you ever tee it up? And you have to make a cut to make any money. Mm-hmm. So for people that think, man, this guy just shot 62, this is fantastic, he's going to be on the web, he's one step closer to the PGA Tour. What does it look like for you for the next 8 events as far as a financial commitment to even just get there so you can recoup cost and keep yourself on that list where you get more conditional starts? Yeah,
more starts. It's going to cost a lot, and I've done it, like I said, I've done it long enough for over the years. I know how much it costs, and you spend a lot of money out there on tour. I mean, if you have a week where, say, you miss the cut, you're going to spend anywhere. I mean, the caddies now are costing $1,000 just if you miss the cut. They're just $1,000. Hotels, you can get cheaper hotels. Now they got all this other stuff.
Airbnbs.
There's tons of things, but you still got to rent a car. You got to eat. I mean, there was most years on the web you could spend anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000. That's just in your expenses. So the problem with that is guys that have a pretty solid year out there and maybe make $85,000 and they keep their card for the next year, they have basically not made a dime. And that's the case all the time. Now, I get it. We're trying to find these amazing golfers that are the leading money winner. They win 2 times. They make $300,000. There's always stories like that. There's always guys that do that.
Right.
Now, for whatever reason, they've been able to do it, and I haven't yet. But so I've had a lot of those years where you make 85 and you just spent 70.
Sure.
And it's not. You think it's a good feeling because you're staying out there and you're getting another year, but it's really you really sometimes you're in the negative when it's all said and done after you've paid your bills and you've paid your mortgage and you paid everything like that. So as far as these first few events, I was looking up the rooms. I mean, they I don't want to. They really should have held some rooms for us guys that got their card out there.
Of course,
because the guys that kept their card from last year
booked early.
They booked 3 months ago, and they got all of the I say cheap. They got the
They
least
got the room
expensive.
block. They got the room block that they had
Exactly.
reserved. Right.
And you know, those, you can deal with those prices. Now I'm looking, the one hotel that I'm probably going to end up is $255 a night. That's before tax. So you go for 7 nights, that's 300. I mean, you're already in almost over $2,000 just on your hotel.
You're basically looking between your caddy, your car, your flight, at least $5,000 an event.
These Bahamas ones, yes. Now Panama, Colombia, fine.
Yeah.
I've been there plenty of times. I've played those events a lot.
A lot of frog sanctuaries down there in Panama and Colombia.
Well, the rooms are, I don't know. The rooms are better there.
You didn't play. You didn't go to UF, did you? There you go. No chance of that.
No. But anyway, but those 2 weeks, fine. You can manage those. So you figure out ways to do it. But these first 2, now it's great to go to the Bahamas, but it is not a vacation.
No.
I mean, you spend about as much as a vacation,
right.
but it.
Well, and it's fascinating because, I look at this schedule that you have coming up here. I'm thinking, man, that's a cool, like, Latin America golf trip, and hitting Louisiana, and Savannah's a cool city. Do you even get excited about the fact of where you're going? You're going to work.
Yeah. That's a good question, because there is the last few years that
work.
Yeah, it's become that more this year. I don't plan on having that feeling. I'm going to try my best to enjoy where I'm at.
Right.
Because 2 years ago or last year, I wasn't in that position. I think, and that's another mental thing, I'm learning, and that's fine. But yes, I got status. I made, what was it? It must have been 2015. I had full status in 2015. And it was such a job because I was so freaked out about every little thing. The money.
Right.
I can't afford it. I had a sponsor that wasn't staying on board. And it becomes that, but you don't want it. No.
You never want to say to someone, I gotta go play golf now.
In the Bahamas.
I gotta go work.
Yeah, I gotta go to the Bahamas to play this tournament. Oh no. It's gonna be expensive.
Right.
And it's not where I would choose to go, but I'm going to be excited. I'm going to go give it my all, and I'm going to do the best I can.
Absolutely.
But that's, yeah.
You mentioned sponsors. They come in handy because you need the support, the financial support to get yourself in a position to make it to the next level. Without that, you need that financial assistance. How much does that affect your mentality when trying to go do your job, knowing that it's not just you, but you have a sponsor? How do you even find sponsors? I mean, is it just relationships?
Well, the first one I had right when I graduated college, he was my old all-star baseball coach. Okay. And we stayed close with his family. And I got done with college. I had a good senior year, and I had said that I wanted to try it. He goes, okay, I'll give you a little bit to get started.
Sure.
And I had him for 6 years, and we did the same thing. It was always a small amount, but it was enough to sort of, get you started for the year.
Right.
And then the other one is through my coach. Okay. I met somebody, and then playing in this actual event that we're at here today, the Pro Scratch at Bear Lakes, I met my most recent sponsor when we played together, and he was with me for about 4 years. So, but the last 3 years I haven't had anything, and it's tough. It's tough because of what you have, like we just talked about, how much you have to somehow set aside to pay for the year, and it's just, unless you're winning and unless you're finishing top 5, and that's what people don't understand, is that we're not all, rich, and we're not all having the time of our life.
Right.
And, going to Ruth's Chris for dinner every night and all these things. I mean, there's nights when you're having Wendy's because you're trying to save as much as you can, and that's not what you should be eating before you have to go walk 18 holes and play in a tournament. I mean, you can, and I've done it, and
sure,
I've played okay doing it, but the guys that are really, they have help. The guys that they have help somewhere,
right,
wherever it comes from. But most of them are just through relationships that you know somebody. I have, I'm keeping my options open right now. Like actively looking and
Sure.
speaking to people that I know, people that I've played in pro-ams with in the past. Does your business maybe want to help? Anything. And, nothing's come up yet. But again, since I got this status, it's been a week. I mean, it was this time last week when I was probably making the last putt on the last hole in Arizona to get it.
Right.
And I've been nonstop since then. So I haven't really had a time other than just texting people, emailing people, talking every once in a while to some people about, is there any possibility of this happening? Because I got to start booking flights.
Right. Absolutely.
And if not, I'm just going to be, last night, my wife and I we're going through the credit cards and how much do we have left on each one? Like, where can I put the hotel? Where can I put the flight? So as much as it's so exciting to be back out there, there is a lot that I'm thinking about right now, and it stinks.
And you gotta
just be thinking about golf.
Exactly right. You have to think about playing golf.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about golf fans see that someone has status, or they miss a cut, or they drop off a tour, then they reappear. Everyone may think that, okay, well, that guy didn't get through Q school this year, and then next year they just go to Q school. Well, it's not like you sit out for 12 months and just watch the PGA Tour on TV and then okay. So we're going to speak about how important it is for the minor league golf tour, especially being here in South Florida. You're a South Florida guy. How do you approach playing the minor league golf tour? Is it, again, an extension of, well, this is a job, I got to go play this Tuesday event at Abacoa? Are you mentally working on things? Is it part of your explain to me what your thought process is playing the minor league golf tour?
Well, it is definitely a job.
Right.
This is my job. It's professional golf.
Right.
And whenever I can play, I try to play.
Gotcha.
It's just like any other job. Now, there's days when I won't play because I feel like I need to go work on something.
Gotcha.
So I go practice. And as far as, like you said, the guys that don't make it through Q school, and what are you doing all year until the next time there's Q school? Yeah, we are.
You're playing
we are
you
grinding and trying to figure out a way to pay the next bill, to get your game to a place where when that next year comes around, you are ready, and there is nothing that's going to hold you back from getting through. And I mean, I've said it to Scott many times, and that's where that minor league tour, it has just been, for me, it's been a godsend, because I don't know if I would have been able to keep going for as long as I have without it. Because
right, you mentioned that earlier this year you won one of their Q School Series events, which paid for your Q School entry fee.
Right.
So if you have to go back and think about that event right there, that event probably is just as important as your 62 in the web final.
Oh, for sure, because that's $5,000 that has to be put on a credit card to pay for a chance at Q School. And Scott puts on an amazing, he does it four or five times a year, where we have a chance to put up some money, and if we win it, you got Q School paid for. And I mean, it is, we talked about it, the burden that's lifted when you know that $5,000 for Q School doesn't have to be on a credit card, because we all know how hard it is to get through Q School.
Right. Sometimes
that $5,000 is just like, oh, here, PGA Tour, here's $5,000. It's a donation. I'm just going to donate $5,000 to you because I'm a nice guy. That's basically what I've done a lot of years. I may make it through first, or but then miss it second. And even if, I make it through first and second, then go to finals and maybe don't play as good, it's the same thing.
Sure.
So it's huge. It's huge to have those for myself and for other guys that are in the same boat.
Right. I
mean, you don't see it very often. There's nowhere else. I'm sure there's tours that have this kind of thing, but this one's been amazing for me, like I said.
All right. So just to kind of illustrate the scores and what you're doing during the year when you're not on a tour where people are maybe seeing what you're doing on the web or whatever, you're like, I believe you're about either number 2 or number 3 in career earnings on the minor league golf tour, passed over 200,000 recently. You've won over 70 over 70 wins, but just to illustrate, these are a couple 3-month stretches over the last couple of years. May 2017, for about 3 months, you won 6 out of 17 events with a scoring average of about 68.7. And then this year, leading up to going to Q School, you win 11 out of 25 events. That's, I'm going to try and do the math right, but that's just about half. And then a scoring average of 67.1. I mean, and everyone that's reading that and listening to this saying, how is this guy not just kicking the hell out of people on the big tours? So.
Yeah, I know. Well, you just said it. Now I'm thinking, why am I not kicking the heads into everybody else?
Okay, well, hey, we're going to ask the tough.
There.
We're going to have to ask the tough
no,
questions.
No, but there whatever that is, or whether it's a nerves thing, or whether it's a financial thing.
How much of it is just being local and playing Bermuda all the time?
It's big.
Yeah,
it's a big part. I mean, since I've been playing the game, I've played a lot of the golf courses that we play on the minor league tour.
Right.
But I don't care how well you know a place. Most of those wins were by one. I shot a 62, somebody else shot a 63. I shot a 64, somebody else shot a 65. It's not like we're trying to figure out where that is, and that tour is so competitive right now with young kids that are coming out of college that maybe just haven't had a chance to go to Q School yet, or they move here. They move from, the Northeast to, like, I want to play. I want to be a professional. I got to find something to play in. They're hearing about the minor league. They come down here, and these kids are hungry, and they're fighting. And yes, I have an advantage on some of these golf courses, but I still feel the same nerves when I step up on the 17th hole and I have a one-shot lead, and I know, so-and-so, new young guy out of college is on 18 with, probably going to have a chance for birdie. So I'm probably going to be tied. And I know that there's a big difference between first and second. If I'm first is $800, second might be $500 or $450.
What's the biggest thing that you saw this year at Webb Q School Finals that is different than what you've seen in maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago? The scoring, that's kind of an anomaly because you don't normally see people winning at 26 under. They're great players, but maybe the course conditions, yardage, things like that. Or is there something that you're seeing different this year that you just maybe didn't see 5 or 10 years ago?
Yeah, the kids now have no fear.
Okay.
I played with a kid in the first round, the first 2 rounds at finals. He's still in college. I'm going to butcher his name. Braden Thornberry. I think he goes to Ole Miss.
He just turned pro.
Did he turn pro? Okay, because he was saying he wasn't going to turn pro unless he... Okay, so he turned pro.
He won the NCAA individual championship, I believe, 2 years ago.
Right, okay. So this kid just freewheeled it the whole time. Great game, but it didn't look like he had a care in the world. And that's the difference between someone, not just me, but someone my age who has had the heartaches and the close calls. Young guys, they don't have that. And it's different now because how they're grooming them. When I was in college, we didn't get groomed to go be professional like these guys are now. I graduated in 2000. I don't remember what year all this started, but these kids are coming out and it's like they've been on tour for 4 years already because they were groomed at college, playing amazing golf tournaments, traveling all over the place, playing against other amazing players, playing the best golf courses. We used to play Muni courses for tournaments when I was in college. Right. It's not even that if there's anything, that's the biggest difference. Whereas these guys, they show up now and they could care less who I am, who anybody is. They go and they do their thing. And this kid, he shot 10 under the first day, and then he ended up not making it. That's where what I've done. I know that it's a long race at Q School. Right. It's not just that one round. So I knew, even after I kind of went down a little bit, 68, 69, and 71, there's always a chance. And it's a long race, and Even the year I got on the PGA Tour, I mean, I was leading after the first day. It was the last PGA Tour Q School, and I shot 63 or 4 the first day, and I was in the lead, 6 rounds back then to get your PGA Tour card, and I had come close a couple times, but never really. And I did an interview right after, and the guy's like, "Well, you got to feel great that you're in." I said, "It's a long race.
Long race.
I got a long way to go. I'm just going to try to keep doing what I can do." And, I ended up finishing second that year. So, and getting PGA Tour card. So there's that. The question was, what's different? These guys are so groomed and ready that they.
So it's maybe not so much about equipment or how far they hit it. It's more you think it's because they all hit it far. Everyone hits it far.
No,
so it's all mentality where they're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go play golf.
Exactly. We're just playing golf. Oh, it's just this course. Oh, geez, we played Riviera this year for something, or we played Kiowa Island, or we went to Hawaii and played, and we're like, oh, okay. And then so this course that they played on, that we played Q School on, I mean, they're not scared of it at all. That there was some holes that I was scared of in the practice. I'm like, man, I got to really think about this hole because you could make a big number here, and it hurts them sometimes.
Sure,
but it also, they have this way about them, and I've learned to overcome those holes that you're scared of. You either play them safe or you just figure out a way to get it in play or whatever. But yeah, there's no real fear in these guys, and that's one reason why the scores are so low. But the golf courses.
Boy, I love the lodging story with the reptiles and so I have to ask another similar question because when we had Scott Turner on the episode, the infamous trail mix story where he went up to Kinderloo at Valdosta and brought a buddy up and gave him $200 for the week and said, hey, I'll cover your food, but they basically ate trail mix for an entire week. So can you tell me the worst food story you may have had where whether it's just nothing's open and you're just eating gas station burritos or
I wouldn't eat.
Yeah. So can you think about a situation like that?
Wow.
Way too many probably.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I don't know. I like to eat, so I plan my meals pretty well for the day. Whether it's whatever it's going to be, whether it's going to be a lousy eating day or if it's going to be a good eating day, or if I'm going to skip lunch because I know I'm going to go somewhere good for dinner. But I've seen lots of Mexico guys get sick every year, and I don't know why they do it. There is great food at the host hotel. Okay, yeah, you're going to pay a little bit, but we all know what can happen to you if you eat the wrong thing in a different country.
Yes.
Every year, there's always half the field goes to this taco stand that's right outside the hotel, and more than half of them get sick right at the beginning of the week. Some of them, they have to withdraw.
Oh, my God.
But I'm just like, what? You got to, what are you doing? And they hear the stories like, oh, yeah, my buddy last year got sick. Well, why would you go there and eat?
You got to be well. That's
maybe they got better.
Yeah, I don't,
they cleaned up a little.
I looked at it on El Yelpo, and
exactly
that's racist.
Yeah,
I'll edit that out. That's shit. Yeah, I looked on El Yelpo. I looked on Yelp, and they've really they've improved.
Yeah.
You can't really play golf in Latin America or Mexico without rain pants in your bag. Is that true or false?
Oh, I always bring them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You have to. Panama, it rains at some point every time.
Yeah, I was actually going towards you shit your pants. You that's kind of the direction I was going.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah,
that's okay.
No,
we're
right.
gonna.
I would never. I don't because I would never do something like that to put myself in that
position. You're a veteran. You're
man.
A veteran, man.
Wily veteran. I'm not gonna go eat at the taco stand. I'm not gonna wait to eat too long when all the restaurants in Panama are closed. Yep. No, I got it.
So you're looking forward. You got these 8 events on the web. You said you want to think positive about it. You want to think about the opportunities that lie ahead, not the details, the financial details that cause you to or that you're going to have to deal with to get to that point. What's the one thing? What's the one person you're looking most forward to seeing? What's one of the courses you're looking forward to? What's something that's really got your eye? Like, man, I can't wait to get there.
I can't wait to get to Panama.
Okay.
I've played good there.
Why Panama?
Because I've played the
Okay.
golf course. It's like playing here.
Okay.
It's windy as heck.
Okay.
The only difference is there's some hills, but it's so windy. The greens are hard as a rock. They're firm. It's Bermuda grass.
Yep.
I can see every single putt, and I've played good there a lot of times. I've been down there probably 7-8 times.
Okay.
And I've had, 4 or 5 top 10s down there.
Great.
So I like that golf course. It's not the best place to go as far as everything because you stay 45 minutes away. You got to take the shuttle in every day back
Sure.
and forth. So as far as that, but as far as course that I'm ready to play again, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to go to Louisiana because there's 2 of my favorite places to eat.
Yep, I know exactly where you're going with that.
There's a Mexican place that has the best enchiladas ever.
Okay.
I go there, at least twice.
What's the name of that place?
El Torrio.
All right, so we're going to put the links to these restaurants in the show notes of this podcast because I want them to know that you're coming, not to play golf as much, but mainly just to eat food. So you've made this amazing run the last several weeks. It obviously did not start a couple weeks ago. You have great people behind you that you're working with. You've mentioned your mental coach. You have not mentioned your swing coach. So who are you working with? Tell me about what you've done recently.
I've worked with Jeff Leishman. He's at the Dye Preserve.
Yeah.
I've worked with him I may be one of the longest guys that he's worked with. We started in 2009. I just squeaked through first stage in 2009, and I wasn't working with anybody. And I had heard about Jeff. He was working with some guys that I knew, and I called him and I said, I got through first, but it was I need something, and I just missed it second, but that year. But we did so much right off the bat, and it was little things. He's always been someone who works with what you have. He never tried to change my swing like some of the other guys I had gone to see.
Right.
And he's so smart. He reads everything. He has knowledge about everything that comes up with golf.
Okay.
Swings, TrackMan. I don't care about TrackMan, but he knows how to read the numbers and look at all that stuff. And he's just brilliant.
Yep.
And he changed my life because I was never going to be on the PGA Tour without him. There's no way I would have ever got to the PGA Tour without him. So definitely, and like I said, I've been with him since 2009. We see each other. There's not much to work on. Not that I'm saying, but I know. I've worked with him for so long. I know when I'm doing something wrong,
right,
and I know how to fix it.
Okay, it's
because of him.
Right.
Now, if I always see him right before something big, like I saw him before first stage, I saw him before finals.
So you're more checkups. You're not
a lot tune-ups, exactly.
Tune-ups and checkups. Okay.
Exactly.
You're not,
but for the beginning, I was seeing him a lot. Like when we first started working, we were working a lot. He comes out to the events a lot. Like when I was on tour, he spent the whole week with me at Hilton Head, and I was leading after the first 2 days and had the best finish I had out there on the PGA Tour with him out there all week. And it was there's just a comfort when you have somebody who you trust out there with you, watching your every step before the rounds, after the rounds, during the rounds.
Sure.
And seeing, and building on that stuff. So, he's been amazing.
So we have a segment at the back of the range that's called the Quick Bucket, casual and light and just silly questions, but I enjoy asking them, and we've gotten to some serious topics during this episode, so let's just completely eradicate all that nonsense and just have a little fun here. So would you rather see Roy McAvoy win the U.S. Open in the movie Tin Cup, so change the ending of that movie, or would you rather completely eradicate the existence of Caddyshack 2?
You got to get rid of Caddyshack 2.
Love it.
Yeah.
Would you rather play a golf tournament without tees or without wedges?
Without wedges.
Really?
I got a lot of shots, man.
Okay.
I got a lot of shots.
See, that's the veteran answer because everyone.
How am I going to hit off the tee?
Everyone is getting
bang in there. You break your driver.
A lot of people are getting rid of the tees and just hitting 2 irons. They can't live without their wedges.
No, I got lots of shots around.
Okay, let's see here. Would you rather win a PGA Championship or play on 2 losing Ryder Cup teams?
I'd rather win a PGA Championship.
Okay.
Yes.
Jack Nicklaus won the Masters in 1986. We are sitting at Bear Lakes Country Club. I feel that we probably know where this answer is going to go, but Jack Nicklaus won the Masters in 1986. Compare that to a victory of Tiger Woods winning his 5th green jacket. Which would be the more substantial victory?
Oh, Jack's.
Okay.
I mean, I remember as a kid watching that, and you remember how the Masters used to be.
Of course.
You didn't have internet.
Nope.
There was no internet.
No front nine.
You waited all day long for that coverage to start. And when that music started playing and they'd start showing the highlights, so-and-so's making a charge. I'm getting goosebumps right now just saying it because I can remember those. That made me love that tournament so much. I mean, everybody loves the tournament, but I loved it so much more then than now. There's just I get it. You got to do it now. You got to have all the coverage, and I do like seeing all the holes and stuff. But I remember, man, when they would come on right when that coverage starts, and it's like, oh, Nick Faldo's making a charge here today, and then when it was Jack making a charge on that Sunday,
everything just shut down.
That was crazy.
We've talked a lot about the minor league tour. We talked all about the web, but I can't let you off the episode without giving at least one story from your time on the PGA Tour. This could be completely random to someone you played with, a place you played, just any fun anecdote about that. That's exactly where you're trying to get back to. Maybe something that you want to get back to, a tournament that you want to play again.
Well, first of all, the one that I can't wait to get back to is Pebble.
Okay.
I know a lot of guys don't like to go and play it because you got to play 3 courses and it's a pro-am and all that stuff. That place is magical.
Yeah. All
3 of those golf courses we play, unbelievable. The first time I played Pebble was when I was on the PGA Tour. I cannot wait to get back there. That place is so special. I didn't even play that good, but it didn't matter. I birdied the 18th hole in the tournament. It was just awesome. Just couldn't have been any better. I can't wait to play another U.S. Open, Pebble, this year. I am so fired up about that U.S. Open. I played the Open at Olympic, and that was the best. That was in 2012, best experience ever.
Webb Simpson.
Yep. Yeah, I shot 1 under in the 3rd round, moved up the leaderboard, made a 40-footer on the last hole on Friday to make the cut on the number at 8 over.
Oh God.
Yeah, and 2 holes before, I made a 50-footer for par to still
keep
stay
it going.
In it. Yeah. Golly, something on tour. I mean, there was so much. The things that I remember most about the tour was how I finally got to see how it really is.
Right.
When you're watching PGA Tour on TV, they're really only showing the guys that are birdieing everything,
right,
hitting every shot perfect. I am not going to name any names, but I played with so many guys that are PGA Tour winners, and they hit a lot of bad shots a lot of the time.
Right.
And it just showed me, for real, finally, it does not have to be perfect.
And you draw the curtain back, and you look by the curtain like, huh?
Yeah. Oh.
Because you're thinking just everything. Everyone's sitting at 310 down the middle.
Oh my gosh!
And just everything's.
And
just...
I had Mondayed into events before,
sure,
and I played the Open in 2012, so I'd seen it, and I'd go and watch golfers, and I'd see some bad shots, but until you're in there, and I've finally reached that pinnacle. I'm on the tour. I'm actually playing with these guys full time, and I'm like week to week, and you're like, this guy is doing this, and he's multi-millionaire. And I was like, oh, it kind of was a calmness. It was like,
sure.
Oh,
I don't have to be a world beater.
Exactly. You do not have to be perfect in that game on the PGA Tour and even if you're not perfect for 3 weeks,
right,
it only takes 1 week out there. And that's where a lot of those guys, they stay out there. They have 3 hot weeks a year, and they miss a bunch of cuts, but they could care less about the missed cuts. They're only playing for that.
They're playing to keep
playing
themselves in that
ones.
60 to 100 range. And
Exactly. And three top 5s or 3 top 8s will do it every year.
before we close the episode, what is one thing that 40-year-old Steve LeBrun would like to say to 25-year-old Steve LeBrun?
What I just said. You don't have to be perfect at this game. I used to try to be so perfect with everything, and I didn't work hard enough on my short game when I was 20 as a pro, because I hit it really good, but you learn that there's down times when you're not hitting it good. And if I wish I would have worked, Steve, work on your short game when you're 25
That's
a
awesome.
little harder.
That's
Don't
awesome.
sit on the range seeing how pure and how awesome you can hit low 3 irons into a little cubby that's on the driving range. I can probably count on my hand how many times I had to hit that shot ever in my life.
Right.
Not that many, but if I would have just sat there and worked on some easy little chip and runs, who knows?
Sure.
So I'm working on them now.
Gotcha. Well, Steve, I appreciate you joining. This is great episode, great insight. We will definitely get some mojo from the back of the range listeners headed your way as you start the Steve LeBrun World Tour on the web.com. And please, Expedia or Airbnb or Hotels.com, hook this guy up with a frogless hotel room and no more burritos and don't drink the water. So, Steve, thanks for joining us, and we're going to follow you for the next year and get you on the PGA Tour.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And there you have it. Our final episode of Season 1. Special thanks to Steve LeBrun for joining us this week. We wish him the best as he chases down that PGA Tour card. He's playing the first 8 events on the web schedule, so make sure you tune in and follow him. Wish him well. Shoot him a message on Twitter. All of his contact information is in the show notes of this podcast. So, for the final time in 2018, thanks so much for joining us here at the Back of the Range. We will see you next week for Season 2 here at the Back of the Range.